I was hospitalized for severe chest pains and shortness of breath. Thus began a medical odyssey which has followed me to this day. A recent bronchoscopy resulted in a partially collapsed lung.
You know, they question you. What were you exposed to? Did you get stabbed? Did you get cut? Did you do this? No. Well, Teresa said, "Well, you were 9/11." And they said, "You were ground zero." I said, "Yeah, I was there for a couple of months. I did like 3 hours." And that's where it came from.
They were told by the EPA that it was safe to work. They were told that despite the immediate symptoms of respiratory distress that were beginning to appear everywhere, they had nothing to worry about. As chairman of the Domestic Policy Subcommittee, which has a very broad jurisdiction, covers every area except Homeland Security and Department of Defense, we're going to start asking questions of the New York City Health Department about their evaluations, how they came to the conclusions. We're going to start getting documents. I want you to know this. We're going to start asking questions and getting documents, because we cannot let the city of New York escape its responsibility for these emergency workers. They're not going to do it. So,
we're going to change the landscape of the way they think in Washington. We have 35 meetings. But before we do that, let's remember the 205 that have died since 9/11.
I'm going to ask the New York City Health Department for their records as to how they could come to a conclusion that the illnesses that so many of these 9/11 workers have suffered were not, in fact, due to 9/11.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
You gotta understand something. When they go down, these buildings, I said, where the hell did these buildings go?
Yes.
You're talking about 110-story buildings that fucking evaporate. Where are the people?
If you're going to continue to be rude, you continue to be rude. Shut your camera down.
Oh, but now he just assaulted my cameras.
Will there be a North American Union? Do you believe there will be a North
I would hope so. I think it would be very convenient for both of us.
Well, I don't think there's a new investigation to 9/11.
Can I ask you what you think about World Trade Center 7 being left out of the commission report?
I think that's black helicopter stuff. I really do.
I said, no way. There had to be bombs in the building.
Did you ever watch those films I gave you?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think of them?
Very interesting. And if you want to talk 9/11, I'll be happy to now. At the time, I know I didn't want to because I hadn't studied it much.
Oh, Jesus.
But now down in Mexico, last year I read 16 books, and so I have my doubts now about 9/11. So if you'd like to get into 9/11, that's fine with me.